call one, we'll get this meeting started. Roll call, please.
Wade.
Yes.
Vickers is absent. Honey.
Present.
Palatini.
Yes.
Diesel here.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Public comment.
I think we covered a lot of things before the meeting. I guess we'll just move on, right?
Chris?
So it's not on record.
So it's not
We'll give you another shot later if you think so. Additions to the agenda. Anybody have any additions or changes, comments? Agenda will stand as presented. Minutes from last month's meeting. Any comments, questions, or corrections for the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand as presented. Thank you, Mrs. Fiesel.
You're welcome.
Treasurer's report. Patty, you got anything for us
I have
tonight?
no comments unless there's questions.
Hearing none, the treasurer's report. Thank you, Sherry. Patty. Bills for this month. Looks like the biggest one is the fireman's payroll. That's the biggest expense we have this month.
And we also have the check to the cemetery too.
And the cemetery quarterly quarterly, right?
Yes.
Entertain a motion for the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $26,804.14.
Have a motion to pay the bills. Support?
I'll support it.
Any further discussion on the bills? Hearing none, roll call please.
Wade.
Yes.
Diesel, yes. Palatini.
Yes.
Honey.
Yes. Motion carries. Cemetery report.
Another meeting next Tuesday at 8 a.m. at the GR Hall. It'll be the first time since November, sometime that they've met. The audit's been done, so that will be presented to them. They went to doing an audit every other year, so that just got finished this year.
And it's done by the city auditor.
It's done by Willis and Jersack.
Okay, any questions about the cemetery? Fire department, like I mentioned, payroll. I'm sure the guys will be excited over the checks. Talked to Bruce today. Getting a little more action on our emergency siren. I've got to make a call back to Sergeant Ott. There's a couple issues that I need to clarify with him, but it sounds like that's going to be happening sometime this winter or early spring. So as I get more information, I'll keep the board informed of that. Other than that, Bruce said it was pretty quiet down there. A few runs, but he did say they were applying for a couple of grants, but
It's always nice to be applying for grants.
I don't know if they'll ever get anything, but they are applying. They're keeping their eyes open. I don't know who notifies them when those grants come available. They have some way of finding out, I guess. Probably some fireman website they can go to and check on that stuff.
Is that Dave Richards that's still doing that for them?
You know, I'm not sure how that's
He's quite good at it.
He was the one who wrote did all the writing for the one that they did here a few years back, right?
I believe he said something. I think it was for Scott Tax or something. So.
Cool.
Okay, zoning, Jerry.
I'll take this. Hello there.
Thank you.
Township residences that has been abandoned for somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 6 years. And as you can tell, the building and the property is quite neglected. And I've tried every means I know of contacting the property owner to no success. All correspondence has been returned. And be contacting the health department to see if there's anything they can do condemning it or whatever. But, seeking guidance from the board as to which way you'd have me go. It can be declared as a nuisance because of the items on the outside of the building. But, we do have the dangerous building ordinance that was passed last year that we can go under, so.
Where's that,
On Ingalls?
Angles Road?
Mm-hmm. On the west side of 127.
Right next door to Tim Horry, across from where Ted Foster used to live.
Okay.
And
Next to the drainage ditch up there, in that area?
no, it's on the south side of the road, but it's only, it's a quarter of a mile from Churchill.
Oh, okay.
Closer to Churchill.
Way up by the.
Yeah, it's like right there. Say it is. Under the dangerous building zoning, Jerry, is this I assume the process is spelled out in our ordinance, how that would proceed in terms of notifying people and whatnot, and then eventually, what would be the process, if it was, is this a court action, the court would have to authorize us to go ahead and clean it up, or how's that work?
Right, well, first of all, we'd have to, the board would have to appoint someone to run the, dangerous building group. It's supposed to be a inspector or someone with a building background. And then from that point, once it's determined, and they would again have to make contact with the property owner to get them in, if possible. And then from that point, it would take a court order mandating that it be cleaned up, and if, say, the township were to have to clean it up, then, the expenses for that would be added to the taxes for the property.
I know personally, my feeling is that I'm very hesitant to ever, impose on personal property rights of people. I think it's very important that people have their property, but in this particular case, it appears at least that they've abandoned the property.
Mhm.
And, it isn't like somebody's living there and they're throwing them out on their ear. And you can see the trees, looks like they're growing right up through the window there.
Mm.
Are the taxes up to date?
They are not paid currently here locally, but they can only go back, someone must be paying them to keep them up, because it's
Been paid for the last 2 years, or?
they're not, I turned them over to the county, someone must be paying them. Or a portion of.
Is there a way to find them? Is them with the county, Patty, or?
I guess you could FOIA, but I never have.
I just wondered if he was looking for somebody, if nobody's replying.
You mean for an address?
Yeah.
Well, they
To
send
get
us
somebody
every
to
year, addresses that they're using for people that are behind in their taxes, and you're using the same address that we
That's
have in
all
our
he's
records
using,
as well,
but
yes. Cause he's on the list every year, so.
So what got you going on this property? Somebody say something?
Well, we've got several properties around the township. Most of them are, barns and whatnot that are getting in sad shape or repair. But this one being a residence, and, have heard from some of the neighbors about the debris in the front and concern about contaminating the soil and injury to children or whatever if they happen to come around.
It is a little concerning. I see one picture there, it shows a refrigerator there. It's hard to tell if the door has been removed.
No, it's still on.
Yeah, so I know that's a big no-no for, so. I guess I'd ask what the board's thoughts are, what they would like to do with this particular property or any like properties in the township. What would you like Mr. Calhoun to do?
Well, we have ordinances for a reason, but we're also spending township tax dollars to enforce the ordinances. So I guess, I would be in hopes that maybe the Inyo County Health Department could give us some guidance. They must get asked this an awful lot about condemnation and, do you have any idea how they proceed when they do that?
I'll have to find out for sure. I know some that I've dealt with them on, they basically just go out and, like Ron would red tag a construction or something, they would red tag the property.
In hopes that they would bring it up to code, correct?
But again, they would have to try and find the owner
Right.
and, get something from that. And I don't know that they would go to the extent of going to court to have it condemned. I think they start trying to put it back on the townships.
Well, I'm
I
sorry.
think if somebody was living there, the health department maybe would condemn it and say you can't live here anymore and make them move out. I don't think they would do anything to clean the building up or get rid of the blight. They would just say you can't live there.
Right.
So I don't really hold out a lot of hope that you're gonna get,
Didn't we have a property that was condemned a few years ago?
We did out on Bellevue Road and they brought it back up to code so that
So
people
the
were
health
able to.
department came in and they told them what they needed to do and they stayed.
Because there were holes in the floor and whatnot, if I recall correctly. But this isn't really, I've been out there too, and like there's trees growing through like the back porch and it's pretty bad.
is it not part of our ordinance that the cost that the township incurs on a project like this, that wouldn't be added to the property tax?
That would be part of the court order that, that whatever the cost of the abatement would be added to the, it's stipulated in the ordinance that that's part of the fees to be collected and added to the property.
So we'd have to find out whether like the building inspector, the group that we put together to go out to look, all their fees would be added on as well.
That would be my understanding, that any legal fees or fees that the township incurs would be added to the tax bill on the property. I guess sounds like I'm hearing that the board reluctantly would like to have Jerry move forward with implementing our current ordinances and that we have in place, and is that an accurate read on the situation?
I guess I'm comfortable with that as long as the, you know, other people aren't paying for this particular piece of property. I think it needs to be cleaned up, true, but I like to make sure the costs go back onto this piece of property.
Sounds like a good assessment there. I hate to see the township spend too much money on that. Sure, it looks like a mess. I haven't seen the property personally, but it's
It's hard to see it in the
pretty bad.
summertime when you drive by, because it's all grown up and
you can't just drive by and
You have to know where you're looking to see it. Now you'd be able to see it fairly well because of the leaves being off and all, but it's a trash heap.
You really have to walk back there to really see the back.
Right.
so it's been nobody's living there and there's kind of an abandoned.
The last report I had that it hadn't been lived in 6 years or better. That was from one of the neighbors.
I just wondered if I asked about the taxes because if the taxes were current,
Right.
then somebody obviously has.
Well, and the
Ownership.
property owner was there earlier this year, and I didn't find out about it until after the fact, so I couldn't go have conversation with him or anything at the time.
Is there any way to contact him, or
We've not been able to find
been
him.
able to find him?
I guess, Sherry, why don't you put in the minutes that the board is in general agreement that Jerry would move forward with implementing our current zoning and/or ordinances that would apply to this project. I don't know, would it be appropriate to maybe research the, ID number of the property and put it in the minutes?
I can do that, no problem.
Just to be sure that we know what we're talking about.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Anything else, Jerry?
No.
Any further questions of Jerry? Okay, thanks, Jerry. Summer tax collection, Patty, Sherry, you know, bring us up to.
It's just kind of a cleaning house thing, we have to approve this every year just in case the school districts decide that they do want to collect for their summer. I've not been contacted if they want to do so. They would have probably contacted me by now if they wanted to, but they could always have a change of heart late March or whenever they might want to change their heart, so. This is just enacts that I do have the right to negotiate with them if they so choose to.
Okay. Any questions of Patty on this resolution? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pass resolution 1112-2, summer tax collection.
I have a motion for this resolution. Do I have support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Beazle, yes. Pelletini,
Yes.
Henny,
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Legal correspondence, Sherry?
Very little this month, very quiet. Basically what I got this month is what you had already reported last month about our attorney, raising the rates from $164 to $171 per hour. And that's all I have.
Fred? Oh, Ed? The only thing I have is, I think all of you may have gotten this in the mail, but I wasn't sure. Any of you that are going to a conference are invited on the Tuesday the 24th to a reception put on by Brzezinski and Company. So if you have any interest in that, you can have this. Other than that, that's it. For me, any public comment?
Yeah,
Okay.
the planning commission gonna meet next month or not? Remember you canceled November because of this thing with the city you were trying to work out.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Are you the chair?
I'm the chair, but I don't call the meetings, remember you guys call the shots and you let him.
I don't think the
cancel.
township board sets the planning commission meetings, do we? I think that's a chair and the zoning
Well,
administrator.
then I didn't cancel the last meeting, it seemed like Jerry overstepped his boundaries then, didn't he?
You'll have to take that up with the zoning administrator.
I guess I will.
I guess you probably should have a conversation with him. I don't know what's happening there, to tell you the truth.
Next thing, dangerous buildings, how about that Palmer's building up there? Somebody was telling me that roof is just being held up by crates, but it doesn't seem like it's caved in, they clean that out? I'm sure you've been snooping around up there.
They pulled a demolition permit for that, so it is
Oh,
intended
did
to
they?
be demolited.
All right.
I think there are a few buildings around the township that probably, I guess I'll call this a can of worms that we're gonna start to open up now that we have this ordinance, that we'll probably be trying to work with the landowners to try to encourage them to make them buildings as safe as they can make them. And hopefully we don't get to the extreme of this type of a property that we have to take some of the actions that appears as though we're going to have to take, because the last thing I wanna do as a township official is start going in and tearing people's buildings down and cleaning them up, and that is not something I look forward to doing at all. But
That Palmer building, they just need a new roof on it, or the steel truss is all bad up there too?
I don't know, but I don't think there's any interest on the Palmer's side of
Fixing it.
fixing it. They're just gonna
you know,
take it
that's the same type of roof that statewide had on there, you know, that,
down.
that semi-moon roof or whatever you call it. And it looks like, you know, statewide, those trusses all just rotted
That was
away.
wood, when that building up there is steel, when that steel going across there,
Yeah,
that's wood up there too?
I believe, I guess I'm not sure, but I've never been up in there. It just, I don't know, that type of roof is really all that great of a roof.
I did think of something, I've been going to the other townships near us, their neighborhood watch meetings, just to kind of see what's going on. And when I went to V-Bay, they had, a state police officer there, Marco Jones. He said he had been to the, Township Association. Did you guys meet him?
I was there when he was there, yes. He's a black fellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't wanna get into too many details, but I wondered if township-wide, maybe we should have him out and have interested citizens come listen to his, spiel about using the state police.
We did actually put an article in the newsletter, I don't know if you saw that or not, and it went out township wide
Oh,
with, it wasn't him, it was another officer that I had talked to.
okay.
He actually gave me a news release to put in our newsletter, and it basically said just that, when you call 911, please request state police. So everyone in the township has been notified of that, whether they paid attention or not, I don't
I've never
know.
seen it, but my husband gets the text, but just not sure. Well, that's what
It
I
was an
curious
independent, it
about.
wasn't in the tax bill, it was in an independent newsletter, the newsletters that we send out twice a year. The one that tells about like spring cleanup and fall cleanup and everything, was right on the front of that, it was a foldover, it was right on the very front of it.
Well, because at V-Bay, when I was there, he went so far as to give us their number to call them direct if we wanted, quicker service.
We could put that in again too, that's probably a really good idea. It's so hard to know whether people even pay
Well,
attention
you know
to
what
this
I
or not.
liked about what he did at V-Bay, I didn't realize V-Bay really doesn't have neighborhood watch groups. They're not really there yet. You know, I think we're, more advanced on that than they are. As far as I know, don't we have like 3 or 4 in Leslie Township?
All mine is anymore, just my independent one is email, that's all we do is
Yeah,
email.
and that's a lot of mine is. We have our meeting, well, Jerry knows, he comes, what, Patty, didn't you get one going too?
We had one, but, I sent newsletters out.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really, all it is, keeping up with the neighbors and getting that information.
Usually it's like so-and-so saw a car, you know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
suspicious car or something, so unless
Well-
something happens, people aren't really that interested, but.
Well, Bunker Hill, they meet every month, and they have stuff every month, but they still have a lot of ties, they have like a volunteer deputy that comes there, all those mornings. They have a lot of activity, going on there,
A lot of criminal activity?
but, yeah, it's kind of amazing, actually.
Speaking of criminal activity, the wife and I were walking when they had the robbery along the service road, and I've never seen so many police cars in my life. I thought, there's no lack of police in the township today. There must have been a half a dozen or more state police cars, and I don't know how many sheriff's cars. And the city was involved
They
there
said
too.
something about 20 cars on the news or something, I remember hearing something about 20
Yeah.
cars, I'm like, are you kidding me?
I heard that number.
The Guardian had a real nice article on what
Oh,
happened there,
yeah.
and it was nice write-up.
So our city cops went chasing down the highway after this guy with everybody else too, huh?
No, the city was not involved in the
I
chase.
thought I saw the city heading north on 127 there.
He went into, after he was arrested, they, went in to get the pill bottle out of the car or whatever
Okay,
for evidence, so that's maybe what he saw.
that could be. I would see them go down there and then they'd turn around in the highway and head north again, and I don't know why they were coming south in the first place, but
You had a front row seat then, huh?
I think if we'd walked a little further north, we would have seen the roadblock, and maybe that, because we were right north of Kennyville, just a little ways there.
Well, the other thing about Bunker Hill is that they have now put a little, blurb on their website about neighborhood watch, and I wasn't sure if that was something that our township might.
Sure, I can do that, if you have some information you wanna put on there, I'd be happy to.
That's what I was wondering, maybe phone numbers or something, if we, tied it to their website, because, some of their citizens brought up that they wanted more neighborhood watch news on the
Mhm.
township website.
Yeah, just get me what information you want on there, I'd be
Okay.
happy to put it on there, no problem.
Sounds good, just a thought.
Absolutely. Jennifer, as long as you're here, what does the city do when they have, dangerous buildings and that type of thing? I mean, I know that you've got some in the city, what kind of actions do you guys
We've
take?
been talking about this stuff for over a year that, we're actually gonna start stepping into because there's a lot of blight and dangerous buildings and things, so. We've been, talking with the city attorney and everything, but like you said, it takes some experience and time to
So you're
enforce
on
all
the
that.
same boat that we are on.
It sounds the same.
Do you have a dangerous building ordinance already in place?
I believe so, but I think we're gonna look at changing some things to, you know, the fines and all that and stuff too, so.
And so, well, we just did that 2 years ago, has it been 2 years now since we just did that? Well, at least we're not all alone.
Anyone else? Any additional board comments?
Sure. We have, I don't know if everyone knows that Ron, our building inspector, had surgery. Has he been back since he had his surgery?
Yes, I've seen him a couple times.
I mean, he hasn't been back here to the board meeting, has he?
Well,
I don't think he's been out and about.
He hasn't been.
Yeah, Ron's doing really super great, doing really well. And then Deb, has had her surgery done and she's coming along well. I
Deb's
think
just
the rest
been
of
a
us
week.
are okay, right?
I didn't know she had surgery.
She had a knee replacement.
She had a week
ago
ago, they
today.
both had knee replacement. She was encouraged because Ron was able to get up in a week's time and was doing it. So the pressure of Ron being well.
But they say the hip heals faster than the knee,
Yeah.
so we have to cut Deb a little slack there on that.
Ron got a hip and Deb got a knee.
Ron got a new hip, but it's the second one. I mean, he
Yeah.
got one, now he got the second one. 2 weeks and his doctor released him.
The other hip?
No
you mean, or
therapy, no nothing.
The other hip or the same hip?
The other hip, the
Oh,
second
the
hip,
other hip.
yes. Gonna be 80 years old.
So we have people in the township with new parts and they're doing well.
We're not getting any younger.
No, we're not.